All right, we are joined now by head coach Dave Canales. Thank you so much for joining us, as always.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
All right, so you said last week after the loss to the Falcons, you said that you were preaching to the team consistency. What exactly when it comes to consistency?
Well, the reason I said that was because in this game, we played some really good football. We had some nice stops. Our third down was improving offensively. We got back on track with the just staying in rhythm and the efficient style of ball that we wanted. Our run game looked great. We stretched the field and had some explosive passes. And then in the span of the game, though, there wasn't enough consistency to play ourselves into a position to keep a lead. We certainly got ourselves back to a one-score game, and we're knocking on the door, walking the ball all the way down. But it's across the team, you know, and we had a kick blocked on special teams as well. So it's about seeing the successes, showing the guys, look at the improvement. Look at the improvement of what we're doing here. Can we do this down in and down out and minimize the big plays offensively and defensively, minimize those big plays so we can play really good football.
Coach, you talk about consistency, and I love that word, but one of the things that stands out to me defensively has been the inconsistency of the guys on the back end when it comes to communication.
Right.
And one of those plays that really stood out to me was the play in Atlanta to Kyle Pitts. You know, two guys right there not communicating, not being on the same page. What are we going to do moving forward to make sure that we have some consistency when it comes to communicating on the back end? Because it seems like week in and week out it's happening.
No doubt. And the thing is, there was progress. There were fewer mistakes in communication, but still, we can't have it. Right. We're talking about 4 plays, TD, but those 4 plays changed the complexion of the game. Yes. I'm talking about on the defense. On the offensive side, certainly the interception right there when we're down by 8. You know, so there's these critical and pivotal moments where we have to find a way to finish and find a way to have, again, to your point, let's eliminate those miscommunications. When players make plays, they all get paid to make those plays, and those things are going to happen, but let's not have it be because of a breakdown of scheme. And that's the direction that we're heading in, but we got to keep pushing, and we got to keep talking to each other and working the things out in the week.
And one of the things the guys have to do, they got to understand, we can't assume that we're on the same page. All you got to do is talk. We're teammates, we're brothers. You just got to communicate, just talk. And that way we'll know for a fact that we're on the same page. So that's something that I feel like happens in practice, and they need to make sure that they're doing this week.
Absolutely right.
I heard, being on the sideline, I heard J.C. Horn telling his teammates, he said, over-communicate. You cannot communicate enough. So I know as a coach, you got to be happy to hear that. I want to talk about the run defense. We know that stopping the run is certainly something that you emphasize over and over. It's the type of team you want to be. Right. So how can the defense take that next step?
Yeah, again, it comes back to trust. It comes back to everybody doing their part. And what happens is on defenses is if you try to do too much outside of just your role, then all of a sudden it puts stress and it's a ripple effect. And so it's the trust factor. We all know what we're doing. We all know exactly where we're supposed to be, and play with your leverage so the ball bounces or comes back to the right people. And that's about playing good team defense, and that's the part that we're still working on to find it, you know, and the guys know it. We know it as a staff. We're preaching it. We're talking about it. We're ironing those things out, and those are the steps we got to take to be able to play the type of football I know we're capable of.
So, Coach, we had 3 rookies to me that really stood out for us in having Xavier step up, having Coker step up, and also having our tight end step up in a big way for us as an offense. What are some of the things that you've seen from these guys that has allowed you to have confidence to put them out there in crucial situations?
It's a commitment to the process. It's a commitment to our concepts and our schemes. These guys are growing exponentially. Every week, the growth curve for a rookie is so steep. They climb so high so quickly, and they're handling all the work that's required to do it. They're handling it great, you know, and they're showing up, working hard in practice, and they're making the plays that are coming to them. That's the most important thing. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. There are so many things. You talk about communication on the defensive side. On the offensive side, there are so many details, so many splits, so many depths of routes, so many blocking assignments and schemes within what we're doing that aren't sharp, that aren't clean. These guys are a part of that growth process as well. And every week that we get to be out there and those guys are asked to perform and make those plays is so valuable for us as a team.
Yep, absolutely. And Trevin Wallace is another guy that I'd be remiss not to speak on as another rookie that has stepped up. He came away with a big fumble, caused fumble in that game that absolutely reignited the defense. So could you speak a little bit about Trevin and the way that he's played so far?
Trevin's been a stud, thrown right in there, making the calls, facing different situations, different types of offenses, and learning our schemes. And the way that teams try to attack your scheme, there's no greater value than to just be out there on the field talking to your teammates and working those things out, in between on the benches and going back out and having to continue to execute, and he's really applied himself to it. He's picking everybody's brain around. Coach Pete Hansen's doing a fantastic job with Trevin, keeping him on track. Shaq, Josie in his ear, just continue to encourage him. So he's handling it great.
Awesome.